And in terms of the topics of your talk, one of the topics was your own circumstances for playing, and I thought there were some really interesting things there in terms of how this sport is structured. You said that there's a national tournament that is massive. You need to be in the top 32 to qualify. The top 16 get through to the main draw. The other 16 have to qualify among a number of other players. Um, and what's that experience like in India? Because I'm only familiar with it from a kind of European perspective.
Mhm. So basically, all of us have to go through a qualifying round wherein,
Hmm.
so the main draw is for 32 players and the rest have to qualify.
Hmm.
So as of now, at this point of time, there are at least 1000 plus professional players
Hmm.
competing in the qualifying rounds.
Okay.
All of them are at the same level, at the same stage. Only 5 or 10% amongst them would be better than each other. So there is a grueling knockout stage that goes on amongst these 1000 people, and out of them only 8 or 16 people, either 8 or 16 of them, they qualify to the main draw.
Mm.
The main
Okay.
draw is something like, so all those people who make it to the main draw are eligible to play in the international tournaments.
Okay.
Rest of them are not allowed to participate in any international tournament unless they qualify.
Oh wow. So is that a directive by the Badminton Association of India?
Yeah, yeah. Everything is managed by the Badminton Association of India. It is based on a point system. So the first round, if you qualify, you probably make some about 32 to 54 points, depending on the level of the tournament. Now there are different levels of tournaments that have also started. So based on that, the points increase. So probably if you qualify in a higher level tournament, you will be able to get about 112 points or something like that.
Mhm.
So that's the level that is something that has been set in the recent years. And the qualifying rounds are very tough. Reason being
Mhm.
that we play games of 15 points each, three games of 15 point.
Mhm.
Sometimes it is also one game of 21 points each.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and sometimes it goes without any extensions, which means that 15 is the last point.
Ah, okay, no setting.
And
Yeah.
the games are super fast. Um,
Mhm.
so since they are the initial rounds, you don't have any line judges. You only have one umpire. You don't have any other service judges or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, and the games tend to move on very fast. So since there are 1000 participants and they have to cover those matches in about 4 to 5 days, on every day you're at least playing 2 to 3 matches in just one event. So
Okay.
let's say, for example, I'm a junior and I participate in the boys singles as well as the
Mhm.
boys doubles. So in a day, I'll be playing around 4 to 7 matches
Oh wow.
in a day,
Yeah.
and all of them are equally tough. Equally tough.
Okay.
None of them is easy. Like you
Mhm.
cannot even shift your focus for about a minute in those games because all of them are really tiring.
Mhm.
Sometimes there is a delay that is involved in all of these schedules, and sometimes, so I played so there was a delay in one of my matches some years back, and I played my match at around 3 a.m. in the morning,
Oof.
and at
That's
3
tough.
a.m. I was serving at 13 all, and you see, at that 3 a.m. is the time where I'm sure everybody must be dreaming, and we were playing at 13 all. So it's kind of very difficult. An athlete has to be very mentally strong to go through these qualifying rounds.
Mhm.
So I personally took a lot of time to qualify. A lot
Mhm.
of players make it really fast. A lot of players never make it in their life. A lot of players take a lot of time to make it. So I was a person who got more experienced in the qualifying rounds, and later on I was able to qualify at a lot of places.
Mhm. Yeah, you told a great story about you kind of you didn't make it for 2 or 3 years, and then I think it was on the fourth year that you entered. You were in the final qualifying stage,
Yes.
and that match was just crazy. You were down, and you had to play very defensive style, and you finally made it. What's that feeling like? Because I think a lot of players could take some they can relate to that quite well. I think there's a lot of players that there's that thing they're trying to get to, and they've tried a few times. Some of them give up. They don't ever get there because they decide to give up before they've got there. So what was it like for you actually to keep going and to actually get to that place that you wanted to be?
So basically, me and my partner, we were together for a span of about 4 years. We were training together and we were going for tournaments. But at times it used to happen that sometimes in the third games I would crack and I was not able to perform. And at times there were also times when my partner would make errors and then we would not be able to convert that match into a victory. So from the under 17 time onwards, so we have under 17, under 19 and the senior age group. And in the under 17 age group, we were never able to qualify. We always lost in the final round. So we would defeat like one of the toughest opponents in the initial rounds. We would defeat the seeded opponents in the initial rounds and lose out to anybody in the final round. It was like a mental block. So something probably psychological that we did not believe in ourselves enough, so we could not make it in those times. And in the under 19 also we were not able to do it. And when we were under 19, we decided to go for a senior tournament, a senior all India tournament, which is the open age group. And my partner's coach suggested him that you're not qualifying in the junior age groups, what would you be able to do in the senior ones? So what I did was I had already purchased the tickets for us to travel, and I told his coach that it wouldn't be possible to cancel them now, so we have to go. So that's how basically his trainer said that you shouldn't be going, and I said that we will have to go at any point of time. So basically he had to his coach was not happy and he still had to come with me. So he came there and we played the initial round. So we were to play at a very high altitude in our country. So Sikkim is one of the northeastern parts of our country, which is at the border with Nepal.
Okay.
So it's almost 4,000 to 5,000 feet high above the sea level. And it's really cold there. We were playing, for the first time we were playing in 5 to 6 degrees Celsius, and it was really cold. For Indians, it's relatively well. So we played the initial rounds, and in the final round we had somebody who were the qualifying second seeds, and they had qualified a number of times, so they were really senior to us. So in the first game initially we started playing, and then it so happened that my partner said that, bro, I'm not able to do anything. I'm not able to do control, and we were just blank, both of us. In the second game somehow we were, like I said in the TED Talks, that we were down 18-13, and then we started defending. We just kept defending. We did not do anything at all. We just kept defending, and that's how we won that second game. In the third game also we won 19-13 down. Well, to be honest, in the third game I was a little underconfident, but this is the time where my partner came up and he took the finishing strokes.
Okay.
So one more thing that I learned here was that you see, first game I was playing well, but in the third game he started playing well. So in badminton, form exists for one point, and for the other point probably you are not in form. It changes. The circumstances keep on changing. The mentality keeps on changing. So that's something really important that I learned there. And he took up the finishing strokes, and you will be so glad to know that both of us were in tears on court, because for 4 years we had not qualified. And I believe it was the first time that I experienced tears of happiness. I did not know why I was crying. I didn't know how I was crying. But it just happened. Just 4 months back, my younger sister also qualified for the first time in the girls singles category. And again, I was feeling those tears because I had been through all of it, and then I saw her qualifying. So it was a great feeling. Overall, I believe that a person must be going through these losses to finally taste that victory, because that victory is really tasty then.
Yes, yeah, I think it's really interesting because the more kind of pain that you go through to get to the achievement you're looking for, the better it's going to feel when you actually get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.